With the BO2 ports having come out in the past month and everyone is losing their minds, BO2's back. BO2's the greatest zombie game ever. I loaded it up, played about 3 hours, and I have one thing to say. You're lying to yourself for 14 years. This game is not what you remember, and I can prove it. Now, before people come at me with pitchforks, let me be clear. I don't think BO2 is a bad game. It has two of the best maps in franchise history, but it also has two of the worst maps in franchise histories. And that's the problem that everyone conveniently forgets when they talk about BO2. These ports came out about a month ago, and the reaction has been exactly what I expect. I've gone back to every map, and I want to talk about what holds up, what doesn't, and why I think Modern Zombies is better than what people are nostalgic. Let's start with something nobody is talking about. Go play BO6 or BO7 for an hour. Get used to the movement. Just the movement. The sliding, the mantling, the weapon handling, the smooth animations. Now load up BO2. It feels like you're controlling a refrigerator on wheels. The movement is stiff, the weapon sway is heavy, and there's no mantling, no sliding. You can dolphin dive, which is a fun for nostalgia, but functionally useless compared to mounted movement. Obviously, you can do it in BO6, BO7 as well. The guns feel dated too. Going from BO7's weapon handling back to BO2's, the hit detection, the reload animation, the general feel shooting, it all just feels stiff. And I'm not saying that's BO2's fault. It came out in 2012, but when people say BO2 is better than Modern Zombies, they're comparing their memory of how BO2 felt to how modern games actually feel. That's not a fair comparison. Load up BO2 right now and tell me the gameplay feels better than BO7. It doesn't. I know I talk about transit in my hot takes and my what if video, but playing it again on the ports confirmed everything I've been saying. The fog is still miserable, the denizens still jump on your face, the lava is still between every location, the jet gun still breaks and sucks. And here's the thing, I was in lobbies with people who were clearly playing this for the first time in years. You could tell because they get off the bus, walk into the fog, get attacked by denizens, and immediately go down. The nostalgia wore off in about 5 minutes for most of them. Transit's concept was ahead of its time. I made a whole video about that. But the actual experience of playing Transit in 2026 is rough. The hardware excuse was valid in 2012. These ports are running on modern hardware and it's still not fun because the problems were baked into the design, not just the technology. The fog is a design choice. The denizens are a design choice. The lava is a design choice. Better hardware doesn't fix bad design choices. Now we get into Die Rise. At least Transit had a cool concept behind it. Die Rise is just frustrating for the sake of being frustrating. Tight corridors, vertical gameplay that punishes you with fall damage and no PhD flopper on a map where you're constantly falling. Who's Who is still one of the worst perks ever made. The Slickifire is still the best wonder weapon ever made, but it can't save this map. I went back and played Die Rise and I lasted about 3 games before I switched map. The elevator system is confusing, the layout is disorienting, and dying because you accidentally walked off a ledge doesn't feel like a skill issue. It feels like a design issue. People conveniently leave Die Rise out of the conversation when they talk about how great BO2 was. Nobody's posting clips on Die Rise with the caption, BO2's back, baby. They're posting Mob and Origin clips because those are the only 2 maps worth posting about. I'm not going to pretend everything about BO2 is bad. Mob of the Dead holds up. The atmosphere, the afterlife mechanic, the Blundergat, the Golden Gate Bridge, the storyline, it's still one of the best maps in franchise history. Playing it again reminded me why. But here's my take that I've said before and I'll say it again. Mob is carried by its story and atmosphere more than its gameplay. Plane mechanic where you would have to rebuild every single time you want to go to Pack Punch is tedious. The layout without Afterlight is just a tight prison corridor. The actual gameplay Mob, building things, flying to the bridge, coming back, doing it again, it's repetitive. Mob of the Dead isn't an incredible experience. As a pure gameplay map, it's good, but not as amazing as people pretend it to be. If you strip away the story, the celebrity cast, and the atmosphere, you have a decent map with an annoying PAP system. Buried is the map where people go to feel good about themselves. You have Leroy, who does everything for you. The Paralyzer lets you fly. Voltrade makes zombies drop free stuff constantly. You can bank points and pull them out in future games, so you start rich every time. It's fun for about 3 games, and you realize there's no challenge. I went back to Buried and got to round 40 basically on autopilot.
Come on, man! That's too easy!
I wasn't even paying attention for heck. A zombies map where you can zone out and still survive isn't a well-designed map. It's an easy mode that people mistake for a great map because it feels too good to not struggle. Barry proved that making a map too easy is just as bad as making it too hard. Alright, you knew this was coming. I made a whole video about Origins being overrated. Playing it again didn't change my mind. The staffs are still incredible, the Easter egg is still fun, the giant robots are still cool, but the mud is still terrible, the Panzer are still not the greatest, getting from one side of the map to the other still takes forever, generator defense still punishes you for playing the game. Origins is a great map with real, genuine problems that people refuse to acknowledge, because it was the last map of BO2 and it introduced Primus. The emotional attachment to this map clouds people's judgment. I respect what Origins did for the franchise, I just think the actual minute-to-minute gameplay has issues that people ignore because of nostalgia. Playing it again, side by side with BO7 maps, made the contrast even clearer. Modern maps give you the same epic scale without the frustrating traverse. Totenreich has simple vibes to Origins, atmosphere, North mythology, great wonder weapons, but without the mud slowing you down to a crawl every 5 seconds. I almost forgot about Nuketown Zombies. I loaded it up once, played one game, and remembered why nobody really talks about it. Random perk drops, no control over your game, tiny map with no depth, it's a bonus map and it plays like one. It's fine for what it is, but let's not pretend that it's a real map. The split direction problem is what I talk about in my best and worst features video. BO2 Zombies had 2 directors making 2 different games. Zelensky did Transit, Die Rise, and Buried with the Victus crew, while Blundell did Mob and Origins with completely different crews in a completely different tone. Playing through all of them back to back makes them more obvious than ever. Transit, Die Rise, and Buried feel like one game, Mob and Origins feel like a completely different game. The quality gap, the tone gap, the ambition gap, it's massive. It feels like 2 studios making maps for the same disc without talking to each other. No other Zombies game had this problem. BO3 feels consistent across all its maps. BO4 feels pretty consistent throughout its maps. BO6 feels consistent. BO2 is the only one where half the content is world class and the other half ranges from mediocre to terrible. That inconsistency is the defining feature of BO2 Zombies, and the ports just proved it again. I want to be fair because I'm not here to trash the game completely. The buildable system was pretty good for its time, crafting the jet gun, the turbine, the trample steams. These were new ideas that would evolve into the buildable wonder weapons we have today. The grief game mode was fine and I wish it did came back. Saving points between games added a progression that hasn't came back, but it can be broken at times. Obviously, Mob and Origins are generally great maps that do hold up. I still rank Mob and Origins pretty high on my personal list. My problem isn't with those 2 maps. My problem is that people acting like the entire game is just those 2 maps when it's not. Here's what I'm actually saying. BO2 Zombies is not the greatest Zombies game ever made. It has the highest highs and the lowest lows of any game in the franchise. 2 masterpieces and 2 disasters on the same disc. When people say BO2 is back, what that actually means is Mob and Origins are back. Nobody's celebrating the return of Transit or Die Rise. Nobody misses Nuketown Zombies. Nostalgia is selective and the ports just expose that. Modern Zombies, BO6 and BO7, whether you like it or not, gives you pretty decent maps, decent quality across each map. You might not love every single one, but none of them are Transit or Die Rise level bad. I'd rather play a game where every map is a 7 or 8 out of 10, or even like a 6, than a game where 2 maps are a 10 and 2 maps are a 3. And I think if people are being honest with themselves after playing these ports, they agree. The BO2 ports are great for one reason. They let a new generation experience these maps for themselves and form their own opinions instead of just repeating what YouTube told them to think 14 years ago. If you play through every single map on these ports and still think BO2 is the greatest Zombies game ever, that's fine, I respect that. But if you've only played Mob and Origins and then declare BO2 the GOAT, then the nostalgia is lying to you. Let me know in the comments, have you played the BO2 ports? Have you played BO2 at all? And be honest, did Transit hold up, or did you switch to Mob and Origins after 10 minutes of playing Transit? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.